Hello and welcome back to another Bammsters podcast. Today we're going to try something a little bit different. We are, we've tried a couple times now to record something for you guys and, I don't know, COVID on the brain.
COVID on the brain.
We keep ending up talking about that kind of unintentionally. We'll probably slide into that. It's a huge thing we're stuck on, but it's kind of hard to avoid that topic nowadays. But in lieu of an actual interview and anything better to talk about, we thought one of the things that we would try and do for the folks who get a chance to see this on Facebook and YouTube, we're going to play a game while we talk to each other. For the folks who are listening to the audio version, you're going to hear us. You'll probably hear some background gameplay as well. I've tried to minimize the sound of that. But we're going to play the Division 2 today and see what kind of hijinks we can get into. And with me today, I have Sir Bamm and Drac.
Yes, you join me playing on a PC, of all things. But don't worry, I've managed to console it up. I'm playing with my trusty PS4 controller, and I must say, not much different. Not much different. I haven't played this game on the PS4. I've played Division 1 on the PS4. And I was a bit of a troll on that. I love the Dark Zone on that. Bit of a pain in the ass, but hey, thought I'd join Drac on the PC and then show him how to really play the game. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I try. I genuinely try with this. You have no idea. I mean, the expression hurting a bag of cats, like, it doesn't even begin to cover trying to weave through BAM logic and actually get him to PC properly. So, yes.
I don't need to PC properly. I've managed to console this up, bro. I can't do a mouse and keyboard. I'm indoctrinated with the console controller.
Yeah. No, all kidding aside, whatever you're comfortable with, man. I use a controller for certain game types, but I cannot do it with a shooting game. Forget it. Nope. Keyboard and mouse all the way for me. So, anyway, that being said, once you catch up to me here at the Grand Washington Hotel, we'll run into this mission here while we, I guess, have you chat a little bit about your experiences, differences with Division 1 and 2 and PS4 and PC. Because Bamm played Division 1 on the PS4. Yeah,
quite a lot. Quite a lot. I'm ignoring the people shooting me to the left. I'm just going to keep going for the mission. Yeah, no, look, this doesn't look very much different to Division 1.
You're right next to the Grand Washington Hotel.
To be
Okay, here we go.
Rehash
that
of the
should
game.
Get their attention.
But,
head to the service entrance on the east side of the building.
So what? So what? I hope to God you're with me, Drac, because I'm engaging these guys. Oh, man down.
Wow, you went down quick. Oh, you didn't go down.
No, I got him. No, Division 1 on the PS4 was, a lot of people said it was like Destiny, and this is what Destiny should have been, and whatever. I'm like, nah, completely different type of game.
It's a different kind of game.
Really enjoyed it. No, I totally agree there.
I mean, this one's more of a tactical cover shooter, where Destiny's, run and
Halo
gun
shooter.
Yeah, it's yeah.
It's a Halo shooter, definitely. Where you just stand in there, and because you're awesome, you automatically win.
Hostile radio intercepted.
Oh, loading, right.
We're under attack.
No. I'm glad that I couldn't, I don't use mouse and keyboard. Right, engaging.
Oh, and I should probably mention for those watching the video, you'll get gameplay from me, as I'm the one doing the video recording here, so...
Yeah, he's the one that's actually like level 4 million. I'm actually first day on this game, so I don't know the ins and outs of it just yet. There is some interesting differences between what I've seen on the PlayStation 4, having watched this game on YouTube quite extensively. Because, you want to see the game before it launches, see how it plays, and then realize you don't want to buy it because it's just a game that could have just been a DLC for Division 1. Yes, I went there.
Well, you say that, but I think you only paid $3 for this game.
Yes. Okay. Right. All right. I'll admit that. I did only pay $3 or whatever it was for this Death Division.
Oh, now you're being G levels of troll here with calling it Death Division.
I know. I only did it because it annoys you. That's the real reason. Yeah, I've got to put some armor back on me because I was getting shot at. Grenade in. Whoa, there it is. It's gas. Moving forward.
Yippers. Got hit by that myself. I actually just kind of sat there and looked at it because I wasn't too worried. And there looks like I'm getting a little bit of lag.
There is, but you understand.
We're separated by nearly half a planet, so or at least like three-quarters of a planet.
I was gonna say, we are separated by a planet. Fair enough. We're on Discord, recording this through Discord, and we're playing a pretty high. What's engaging me from behind? Oh, behind us, Drac. Yeah, so yeah, don't stress too much, bro. Lag is lag. You might see that my screen just freezes and lags out, but don't worry. Don't worry, because I'm not.
So
if I was worried, then you heck can worry. Never saw that.
Other than the obvious visual differences with DC and New York and the weather and stuff like that. Ooh, I'm on fire. You said that this is earlier when you were first looking at this, you were talking about how it felt different, or than the first Division game.
Yeah, it does feel different.
So what is it that feels different to you?
Now, I'm going to say this, I'm probably going to get a lot of shit for this, but I don't think this game is as spongy as Division 1.
No, it's not. In fact, that was one of the things they were supposed to have fixed that was actually kind of nice that they did that. For the most part, it's not as spongy. It's gotten through... It had several updates. There were some updates that did make it, some of this stuff a little too spongy, especially when you push the control points up to level 4 after you finish the story missions.
Yeah.
But that's been mitigated somewhat. There's still a lot of issues with the game that are being worked on, but overall, I think it's come a long way. I think it's gotten better.
Oh my god, a game with issues.
Yeah, I know, right? In this day and age, that's pretty much the way it is. Oh.
Better up, down. Yeah, it's a good game, this. I've only played a few bits and pieces of it, and it actually makes me think why I didn't buy this game for the PS4. Oh, wait, I know why, because it got terrible reviews. Everyone's just on the... When it comes to that sort of thing, everyone's just on the bad review bandwagon.
Well, now, Ubisoft, when you were trying to play with keyboard and mouse, because you did play a little bit with keyboard and mouse.
I sucked.
Why?
Oh, dude, I sucked. I don't
just
have
not
the
used to it,
muscle memory for keyboard. No, muscle memory, dude.
Well, sometimes I hear that folks complain because it's, with a controller you have a set amount of buttons to push. And with a keyboard, you get all these extra buttons that you sometimes hit the wrong button, because especially if you're not used to it.
I've gone up high.
So, were you having problems hitting the wrong keys on the keyboard at all, or nah?
It's as if I was... I don't know, like I hurt my hand. Get him! No, I was hurting my hand every time I played the game. I just couldn't handle it.
An agent needs assistance.
Okay. I got revolvered to the face, Drac. What the living hell was that?
They didn't like you very much. So they're across the courtyard right now trying to take you out.
Trying to figure my way down.
No, you don't need to go down. Just take them out. You have guns. You don't need to go over and melee them.
But it's part of the experience, bro.
That is something about this game that does kind of suck, is that some of the enemies you'll run into, their melee just does a crazy amount of damage, but you walk over and it's like you just tapped them on the shoulder. It's a silly thing.
It's a bit of a silly thing. A lot of things don't fit well. But I tell you what, I do like this game so far. It feels very smooth. Even though I am using a PS4 controller plugged into a PC, it's running very smooth. So only one can imagine what it would be like on the PS4. Having never played Division 2 on the PS4, I wouldn't know.
I would say your experiences would be very similar.
Yeah.
Except that you wouldn't have me here.
No, I wouldn't. I'd be running and gunning with my lot across the UK sort of space and time, or whatever have you. But I'm noticing something already. Is a lot more stuff in the environment. A lot more stuff,
like particles and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like a lot more of that. A lot more of that. Get some! Bang, bang, pew, pew!
Better excited?
Come on. We're the baddest. Better. Better. Dude, I enjoy this game.
Well, I'll tell you, you won't get a chance to see this right now, not till later, but when you finally hit end level, and then you start getting a chance to work through the gear stuff, I kind of like what they've done with that. The only thing about it that I don't like is the randomness that's to it, but the ability to go around and find or tear apart gear so that you can then use the stats on that gear to upgrade your other gear. The only bad part about that is you can only change out one slot on your gear. So typically you have like a main attribute, or what they call a core attribute, and then you have, one or two
carry on.
Other additional attributes that you can modify, plus a perk. But you can only change one thing. So if you change the perk, you can't change any of the attributes. If you change a core attribute, you're stuck with whatever perk the gear has. I really wish you could change out the perk and then at least one of the attributes, whether it was a core or, I hate having to sit here and like keep going after the same types of gear over and over and over again with random chances, mind you. But
I'm getting boosted to these levels because the quicker I level up, the sooner I can get into the fight without having to play second fiddle to you boys.
Were you able to pick up loot over here? You look confused. Have I lost you?
I'm not confused. No, you haven't lost me. I'm busy switching across gear. Right.
So have you made any more cider recently?
Yes, I have. It's delicious.
Oh, you already got through another batch?
Oh, yeah.
You know what? Okay, so we've talked about cider before, but here's one of the things I've been wanting to ask. You do the first week, and after the first week, it's already got the alcohol content. So the next question I have with that is the second, like the next 2 weeks after that, is that just about carbonating it? And if you're not going to carbonate it, do you not need to do the second stage fermentation?
No. No, not at all.
No, you don't?
No, the second stage fermentation, it does add alcohol to it, but not as much. It's a combination of carbonating it and finishing off the final thing, because you still add sugar to it, right? And you add the sugar to it so that the bacteria then can create the carbon. But you must understand, it also gives the time for the yeast to peter out as well. So the first, I ferment it until all the bubbles stop. A lot of people only ferment it for the first week, 7 days, and bubbles are still going after the first week. So I literally let the yeast peter out 9-10 days. And then after 9-10 days, I then bottle it with a teaspoon of sugar, and then that carbonates it because it wakes the yeast back up, and it's like even more virile. And then you put that in there in the bottles, and then it's even more fizzier. That's just how I do it. A lot of people seem to do right. Just go and 7 days, take it out, bottle it, bit of sugar, go from there.
I don't feel like that answered the question.
That was the best way to answer it.
You were talking about what you did, but what I was asking was what I guess basically, like, if I just do the first week fermentation and I let it go, 7, 8, 9 days, whatever, and then take it from there and just drink it without doing the additional, 2-week fermentation. What am I missing out on by not doing that?
I couldn't tell you. That's a good question. I couldn't tell you.
Because I've thought a couple times about, like, just doing the 1-week fermentation and not doing the carbonation.
Really?
Yeah. I might even do that with my next batch just to try and see it. I don't know. I test things. I'm not as, what's the word? I'm not as anal with my documentation on this stuff as you are.
Yeah. Okay, look, I'll let you have that. I do document it down.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Don't get me wrong, because it is a good thing. Like, you know what's going on with your stuff. You've got records you can recreate. I just kind of, I like to get the process down so I know what I'm doing. Like, what I need to do to get it started and get it going and get it finished. And then, as soon as I have that, I might make minor adjustments here or there until I... Like, mostly all I've been... Yeah, mostly I've just been playing with, like, flavor.
To make if you've never...
Well, because once you have something good that works, then the only adjustment you really need to make at that point... There's 2 adjustments you make. One is flavor, whether or not you're adding additional flavors or changing, what it's supposed to be. And then the other one is alcohol content and how much, how strong you want the alcohol content. Well, alcohol content, the only thing you're doing to change that is sugar. The more sugar you add, the more alcohol content you get.
You see, you can increase the sugar. Sorry, you can increase the alcohol content in the second stage of the fermentation as well, depending on how much sugar you add. But it's like I said, a lot of people use the second stage as a carbonation. Some people use it as a combination of things, not just with carbonation, but also to help boost the alcohol content. The last little spike to push it across that extra 0.5%. I document stuff down, so I know if I want to change the flavor, I can tweak this and I can tweak that. I mean, the batch that I drank before you were going to come here, I actually saved a 5-liter demijohn of cider. I drank that, mate. I drank that. The minute this COVID-19 lockdown kicked in, and I realized you weren't going to be coming across from the States to come to EGX, I drank it. What's the point of wasting good cider? I actually, what I'm trying to get at is that the juice I used for that cider, I actually went and hand-picked a whole bunch of apples. And to get 10 liters of apple juice, no lie, dude, I had to pick, like, we got these huge black dustbin bags of black. These huge apples full of juice from these black bin bags. And, I peeled them, I cored them, I crushed them. That took forever. But got 10 liters of juice, and I made apple cider out of it. It actually produced, because I was a bit worried about it being too wet. That's going to sound a bit counterproductive here, but when you drink the cider, it has like an aftertaste of water. And I was really worried that was going to be a thing. So I didn't put a lot of water in it. So I got about 10 liters, and I must say, produced 18 liters of cider because I did add some water to it because it was just neat. It was delicious. It was really good. It was really, really good. It really was. It was really good.
Now you said how many bags did you have, and how much juice did that finally give you?
Dude, I had like, God, black bin bag liners. They were like.
Are we talking like 13-gallon bags, or?
Yeah.
Like your typical kitchen trash bag or something?
Yeah, typical kitchen trash bag. I had like 8 of those bags, and I managed to just squeeze out 10 liters. But then you add the sugar to it because I wanted more alcohol from it, because natural apple juice gives you about 3.5%, 4.5%. I wanted about 7, 8. So I added a further 10 liters of water, but a lot of sugar went in there. 4 kilograms of sugar went in there because I really wanted it to blow your freaking back of your skull off, you know? And I must say...
Use that minigun to blow open the door.
It worked a treat. It worked a treat. It really did.
Yeah, after some conversation we had, one of the things I started doing, like with this last batch, is I have reduced the amount of water that I was putting in by, I think, half a gallon. I was careful with the... I actually added the cinnamon sticks in the 5-gallon jug.
Did you understand what I mean about like tasting wet? No,
that's what I was talking about, reducing the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't want it to taste watered down. You want it to have a little bit more of a sweet, syrupy kind of
there we go.
texture or taste to it. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's why I was talking about reducing how much water I put in it, because it was just one of those things where it was like I liked the idea that you were talking about, where you weren't going to have, it wasn't going to be as watered down.
Yeah. I had a problem with that. I really did. Having used or using a lot of the, you can order the brew kit, which is a bit of counter understanding. The brew kit you think is the equipment you use to brew the cider with, but in brewing terms, the brew kit is just the syrup and the yeast, right? That's known as the brew kit, whereas the brewing equipment is everything else. And yes, I brew my cider from a brew kit. I don't have the luxury of buying and getting fresh apples and whatever have you. So when I had the opportunity to get fresh apples, I still had to put water and sugar in there because I didn't have enough. I thought I'd 25, 30 liters of apple juice. I didn't. I really didn't. So I had to add in. But I had to add in basically very sweet water. But I only added in enough to get me 10 liters. So I added in a further 8 liters of water to the juice, but with like 4 kilograms of sugar. Mixed it all in. Obviously, you boil the water before you add the sugar. Top tip that. You introduce other foreign agents because it will kill your brew. And then from all that, you then pull out the cider. And I left the last bit of it, which is about 6 liters, 7 liters. So you have your siphon, and you siphon out the first pint, and you drink that. And that's how you know. Delicious. Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah, the last one came out pretty good. I still have some of that left over.
I'm annoyed because you were going to bring across tantalizing tasters.
I was going to try. We were going to see how that was going to work, but yeah.
It was annoying. It really was, because I was dead keen to try some of your, I'm going to say, butchered cider attempt, because
butchered my ass.
Well, okay, slapdash.
Okay, maybe.
Stadia crossplay. Why?
For the folks who play Stadia, who use Stadia.
Yeah,
whoever those folks are.
I just gotta get through the bits and pieces. No, I must say, brewing cider is a lot of fun. Getting back to the story of comparing Division 1 to Division 2, it's like brewing cider.
Oh, really?
It really is. Very much so. You have, you slap it together, and you then field the game and realize the game isn't that good. Now you've taken the feedback, you've documented everything, you've written everything down. You then improve upon the game so that the second iteration of the game is better. And from what I've seen on the PC version, there's a lot more stuff in the world, whereas the PlayStation version, not a lot of stuff. Not a lot of stuff. The game's cleaner in the environment, but in the PC, it's shit. There's stuff everywhere. You said it was particulates or whatever, have you? It's fascinating. Yeah. It's fascinating.
I'd never even really thought about that. That's actually kind of interesting.
Dude, you can break down everything. Everything on this world. Like I said before, beer cures most thing in life. For everything else, there's bacon, right? You can solve everything by the acronym of brewing your own beer or cider. So they brewed their first batch of cider. It was an okay game. It didn't flop. Division 1 did not flop. Otherwise, they wouldn't have made Division 2. Division 2 kind of flopped because it hammered a lot of bad reviews. But I'm enjoying it. This is now, a year on? I'm enjoying it. But then I've also enjoyed Anthem. And that's now 2 years?
I don't know if that's something you really should admit.
What?
No, I'm kidding. Playing Anthem. I had some fun with Anthem too. I got bored of it. I didn't do the end gear chase. I couldn't be bothered with that, but I did have some fun with it. I didn't really care much about the story though, which is kind of, I don't know, counter to the statement I just made about doing the end gear chase. I was just trying to get to the end level, but once getting to the end level, I just didn't feel like going on anymore. So, well.
I did the end gear chase and I chased so hard, I managed to get Grandmaster for all 4 of my suits.
Wow.
And I'm like, it's like 925 or 930 or something. I bet you they've lifted the level now after X amount of whatever have yous. But I must say, it wasn't boring. I played with my wife downstairs. She's currently watching her soaps. I'm busy playing my games with my mates, and it's playing games with your wife is like time together, but then watching soaps and playing games is like time away from each other, but still together, where you can kind of do your own thing and not step on each other's toes or, throttle each other by the neck because you've had enough of each other because you've been locked up in a house together. So it's very much a case of, you do what you want to do, I'll do what I want to do, and I want to play games tonight. You can go and watch your soaps and do whatever, and then you can come on later and play Anthem, because when you're done here with me and I'm done with you, we're going to go play Anthem. You see?
Oh, see, that's cool.
It's a very interesting way of how we don't get on each other's nerves. Trust me, we get on each other's nerves. Oh, yes, we do. But her having her own PlayStation and me having my own PlayStation, and now I'm just calling it the PC PlayStation, because it's actually, it is now because I've got the controller. Yes, I'll never learn to master race correctly. Yes, I know what I've said. I know what I've said. Essentially, this is just an expensive PlayStation, bro. I know what I've said.
How dare you, sir?
I said it deliberately. I've said it deliberately. I've said it deliberately, and you know I've said it deliberately.
Yeah. I know.
You see, everything's still revolving around COVID-19. How are you not throttling your wife to death? How is your wife not
people keep... I keep hearing this thing about how there's going to be all these births like 9 months from now, which makes sense. But I'm not... One thing I haven't been hearing is the other side of that. Because there's a part of me that wonders, when everything opens back up again, how many people are filing for divorce?
Yep. I've got a very funny feeling there's going to be a lot of divorces, a lot of births, and to be honest, I'm not sure what it's like in the States when it comes to this sort of thing, but in the UK, the Prime Minister sent every household in the UK a letter. Okay. I got my letter today, urging General Joe Public to stay at home and help the NHS, because if the whole country this whole thing goes sideways, the NHS will not be able to cope with
that's been my understanding of what the real emergency is with all this. It's not about how it affects most people. It's really about what it'll do to the healthcare system.
Yeah.
You know, and then you run into problems with people who need services for other things. You know, somebody has a heart attack or a stroke, and then there's no place for them in the hospital because it's already overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, I'm not trying to nullify the seriousness of it or anything like that, but my understanding is that is the major concern, is what it does to the healthcare system.
Oh, yeah. It'll overwhelm it to the extent where it'll basically fall on its own ass, and then even more people will die.
But, I mean, I guess it's not that hard for them to send out, what is it, like 1,000 emails to that tiny little island over there? Or 1,000 snail mails?
No.
Regular letters? You know, over here, it's such a large, massive land with all these people here. We do it the modern way. You know, they have a press conference and everybody watches the news.
I still want to be a dick right now. So want to be a dick. But I'm not going to. You know why, Drac? You know,
I have no idea why.
We're a world apart, Drac. We're a world apart. Yeah? We're a world apart.
And yet we're playing games together.
Exactly. And yet we still find time to have a fucking giggle in our life.
Yeah.
Where the hell are you, by the way?
I went over by the mission, and then I just started finding things to shoot and kill while I was waiting for you to show up.
I've already selected the next mission.
Jefferson Trade Center?
Things. Yeah, I'm already here, bro. I'm killing things.
I was there, but nobody else was there but me, so I left and I started killing other things.
Fast travel, dude. You're not allowed to fast travel.
I am allowed.
Prince.
Have function in game will use.
have time to waste. Oh, I just lobbed my grenade in the wrong place.
I think we'll call that a successful test for today. We'll see what you guys think of it, whether or not you like us playing games while chatting. We'll see how it works for the audio version as well. This has kind of been a testing, so if you like this, if you like just hearing us BS while we play games, let us know. If you don't like the way this turned out, let us know. You know, that way we know not to do any more of this.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, we're still going to do it, whether you like it or not.
Well,
because we're still going to play games.
We're still going to play games, but whether or not we use it as a podcast episode or something, we just didn't want to sit here and just talk about the only thing, the most present thing on our minds. It's like wanted to give some other type of entertainment. But
even though that we did kind of circle back to that, but every time we tried to stay away from it, we just carried on talking about it. Yeah, I know. And we did kind of like talk about it. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, just a little bit. So, thank you for joining us. Hope you've enjoyed. If you have any questions for us on our cider making processes, feel free to ask. And until next time, this is Drac, and I'm out of here.
Agreed, guys. Thank you very much for joining me playing a PC game. The wrong.
Later.